I'm gonna be honest here, Go-Go Town isn't what I thought it would be, but I ain't mad about it. This game has just been released in early access on Steam, and going in blind, I was kind of just expecting another life sim farming game, much like everything else that's coming out lately, but I was pleasantly surprised. And thank you to the team at Sandbox Strategies for the review code. So rather than being just your classic farming life sim kind of game, this is actually a town management game. Go-Go Town puts you into the role of town mayor thanks to the big boss of Townco Corporation. You're sort of just dumped into it, and as you navigate your new position, you'll be provided with some basic assistance by some funny kind of agents who hang around for the first part of your game. You'll learn the basics of construction, where you'll need to collect resources and pop it on site, where your new buildings will be created. You'll be able to use tools like chainsaws and drills to collect resources from the allocated mining and woodcutting areas, and as for the rest of town, you can pretty much build as you see fit. It is a town and you do need people for that, so every few minutes or so you'll have a train come into town carrying a load of tourists and potential new residents. Tourists will go around spending money and checking out your town, while your potential residents will let you know what they need in order to move in. Usually something like having a certain shop, decoration, or doing something X amount of times. So pretty easy and straightforward. While the agents are there to guide you in the beginning, they are basically the tutorial stage, so after you've finished your first few tasks, they'll leave and you are on your own. This next stage, I found I was at a bit of a loss, especially regarding the town building aspects and item caps, as the game doesn't seem to go into too much detail regarding these things. However, once I played around a bit and got the hang of it, I found the rest of this game to be very intuitive. As new residents move in, you'll need to build houses for them to officially be a new resident. Once you've done that, they can be allocated to a job, whether that be managing a shop, cleaning the town, or collecting resources. You'll need to decide what types of shops to build, who will run them, and how to efficiently supply the shops with the resources it needs. At the start, it can be a little bit to manage on your own, but as you progress, you'll be able to get assistance with providing resources, which makes it so easy. Actually, probably too easy, but a little bit more on that later. You'll have a mobile device where you can access this app that lets you purchase new upgrades such as a new set of shops, more decorations, unlocking farming or fishing, and so on. So as you play, you'll get access to a wider variety of objects, allowing you to go from a rather empty town to this absolutely bustling town that's full of life and colour. As your town grows, you'll hire various workers such as miners, fishermen, lumberjacks, and farmers that will automatically collect resources for you. As you employ shopkeepers to various types of shops, you'll increase your income, and then at the same time you'll be able to eventually hire couriers, which will ensure the goods are delivered efficiently to either your shopkeepers or your construction sites. So eventually you can really get this town automated, turning it into a well-oiled machine teeming with activity. However, the gameplay can become repetitive after a certain point, with new levels failing to bring anything new to the table. Your first few levels you'll be unlocking totally new gameplay elements such as farming and fishing or couriers, but when you get to the later levels it's kind of like you're only unlocking additional decorations or more shops, and it all just gets a bit boring. And while I still found it somewhat exciting to level up, it was a bit disappointing whenever I would go to the app to unlock new stuff, only to find that it's just kind of the same stuff over and over. I thought the game's balance could use some tweaking as well. You'll need to gain both money and upgrade points so that you can buy new items for your town and purchase new upgrades. At each level, you'll have a cap for how much money and points you can hold. I found money really easy to earn, so I was constantly at the maximum and rushing to buy new stuff just so I didn't waste any new income. Points were also easy to come by as well. I was leveling up at a steady rate, with it taking me pretty much the same time to get to level 3 as it did to get to level 10. For your resource areas, you have mining, woodcutting, farming, and fishing. And while initially you have to manage these, as I said before, you can automate these by hiring workers, setting storage down, and then let them have at it. For farming and fishing, I found that I couldn't keep up with how much stuff I was getting. My storage was constantly full and I had a lot of storage. Then for mining and wood cutting, I found it wasn't as quick, and sometimes even when I had two machines out to make two separate resources, my workers always seemed to focus more on one than the other. But all of this combined made for a really easy game. And that's not even a bad thing. I found it so relaxing to play as I never had any frustrations and it was just a good time. However, I do think some people would enjoy more of a challenge. Your phone has this really cool widget app where you can customize your user interface. Another really cool and unique mechanic that this game brings to the table that I haven't seen in any other game. So you could change where you want your map, whether that's upper right or lower right corner of your screen. You can add and remove things, just totally customize it to your liking. While your character is fairly basic in the beginning, as you play, you can eventually unlock a whole bunch of clothing, costumes, and hairstyles to customize your character and really show off your style. Some of these are really funny too. Me personally, I really enjoyed the hot dog costume. While this is an early access game, it doesn't feel like it at all, which is so refreshing nowadays. I've actually kind of stopped playing a lot of early access games, as I find they're always released way earlier than they should be. I will note that this game is quite short. It took me about 15 hours to finish the game and get most of the achievements as well. However, because this is early access, I do expect this to be extended as the game continues to develop. On that note, I did find in its current state that the map was way too small. By the end of the game, I was constantly trying to find spots to squish in new buildings and decorations. But I did stumble across some other areas which to me seems like it may be there for some future expansions, so I'm keen to see how that goes. I absolutely loved the look of this game. I'd been vaguely aware of it for a while, and it's one of those games that just the vibrant colors and art style made me excited for it even when I knew next to nothing about it. There's so much room for customization here, as well as some very nice details. Many of the items you place while only having a single option, for example, a single story house. As you build these, you'll find they come in a wide variety of shapes, sizes, and colors, so it gives your town a really natural feel, and the same with the trees and the shrubs too. Lots of other little details as well, such as advertisement boards you place have various little adverts you can scroll through. The more you look, the more you notice here. You'll also get access to so many decorations and a lot of themed stuff as well, like gothic fences or lantern lights, so there's a potential to really do a lot of stuff with your town. The game ran so smoothly for me, even when I absolutely filled my town to the brim with decorations. So a great performance without any lag. Probably my least favorite part was the soundtrack. A personal opinion definitely, but I found the music was way too energetic, which can be jarring for a relaxing town management game. Go-Go Town is a fun town management game that stands out with its unique gameplay and really cute art style. I pretty much played this one non-stop until I finish, and I just found it to be a really relaxing and chill game. Being in early access, this is only the beginning, and I already think this game is amazing. Even if you really aren't into town management, I really recommend you try this one out if you like what you see. It's definitely not my favorite genre, as it's sometimes not done very well or to my liking, but this is probably one of my favorites so far. Also, can we just talk for a second about how Prideful Sloth always bring out the best games? Many of theirs are a favorite of mine, and this just adds another to the list. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!